The dead of night settled over the sleepy Appalachian town of Blackwood Hollow, where the old community hospital sat on the edge of a dense pine forest. The building, once bustling with activity decades ago, now only saw the occasional patient. The state kept it open, barely, with just enough funding to support a doctor and 2 staff members. That night, Nurse Sarah Myers was on shift. Sarah had never been the superstitious type, but something about Blackwood Hospital gave her chills. Maybe it was the thick woods that loomed just outside the windows, or maybe it was the way room 9 was always kept locked, even though no one had been admitted there in years. At around 2 a.m., a bone-chilling sound echoed through the halls, a woman sobbing. The cry pierced the silence like a blade, halting Sarah mid-step. Her eyes darted down the corridor. The sound had come from room 9. "No one's supposed to be in there," she whispered to herself, feeling her pulse quicken. Sarah hesitated, then slowly approached the door. She peeked through the small glass pane, but the room was empty. The sobbing had stopped. Confused, she turned to leave, but before she could take a step, loud pounding erupted from the other side of the door, as if someone were desperately trying to escape. "Who's there?" she called, voice trembling. The sobbing resumed, louder, more desperate. It was unmistakably a woman's voice crying for help. Panicked, Sarah ran to Dr. Ethan Rhodes' office. But as she reached the hallway near his office, she stopped dead in her tracks. A woman in a black cloak stood outside Ethan's door, staring directly at her. "Who are you?" Sarah demanded. The woman slowly pulled back her hood, revealing a face that was not flesh, but ash, hollow eyes, no mouth, a blurry smudge where features should be. Sarah screamed and collapsed. When Ethan rushed out moments later, he found Sarah on the floor, shaking. "Sarah, are you okay? What happened?" "There was a woman. She was right there. She looked like smoke. And room 9, someone's in there. I swear it." Ethan helped her up, brushing it off as stress. "You've been working too hard. The woods can play tricks on your ears. Get some rest, I'll handle any patients." As Sarah made her way to her quarters in the adjacent staff housing, a gust of wind blew past her, and a strange sensation overtook her. She coughed violently as black ash seemed to swirl into her mouth. Her pupils dilated, turning pitch black for a moment, then returned to normal. The next morning, a local family rushed in with their teenage son, Danny, who had turned ice cold and blue overnight. "Doctor, please help him. He won't wake up." Ethan admitted the boy and started treatment with nurse Dr. Kristen Moore. Yet, they couldn't determine what had afflicted him. No signs of trauma, poisoning, or illness. They decided to monitor him overnight. At 3 a.m., Danny's body jolted upright. Kristen was examining him when he shoved her across the room. His eyes were solid black, his face emotionless. As the lights flickered and a putrid stench filled the ward, Danny slowly advanced toward Kristen. "Danny, you're scaring me," she whispered, backing away. Suddenly, Sarah burst in and slammed Danny into the wall. Blood spurted from his head as he collapsed. But what happened next chilled Kristen to the bone. Sarah, on all fours like a beast, crawled to Danny and began licking the blood from his skull. Her body jerked violently, her eyes rolling back. In a blur of rage, Sarah tore off Danny's arm like a wild animal. Kristen, despite being a seasoned doctor, fainted on the spot. When she awoke, Ethan was at her side. "Kristen, what the hell happened? Where is Sarah?" Trembling, Kristen recounted everything. Ethan was horrified. He knew Sarah. She wasn't capable of this. But there were signs, subtle ones. Sarah had changed since that night outside room 9. Her tone, her posture, even the way she blinked. And now she was gone. Ethan wasn't just a doctor. He was heir to the Rhodes fortune and could have lived a life of luxury. Instead, he had chosen to dedicate his life to helping underserved rural communities. When he first chose Blackwood Hollow, people thought he was crazy, including Kristen, his med school partner and once love. "You could work anywhere, Ethan. Why here? These mountain towns are isolated, superstitious, dangerous even. Because something is calling me here," he had said. "Since childhood, I've dreamed of this place, its trees, this hospital, even the name Blackwood Hollow. My father denied we had any connection here, but I know he lied. This place has roots in me." Kristen eventually joined him, bringing along Sarah, a nurse they both trusted. But neither of them could have predicted what was unfolding now. Desperate to maintain peace, Kristen came up with a plan. They would tell the villagers Danny died of an extremely contagious infection and that no one could touch his body. "We have to seal his casket," she said. "If they think it's a plague, they'll stay away." They delivered the story to the town chief, who reluctantly accepted it. But the truth haunted them. What had possessed Danny? What had taken over Sarah? And what unholy secret was buried beneath Blackwood Hospital? Kristen and Ethan were left with questions more terrifying than any diagnosis.